Hello and welcome to the Integral Creative Writers Support Pod from ILEA, Integral Leaders
In action.
International. What is
In action.
it?
In
In
action.
action. Thank you. Integral Leaders in Action. We're all in action. All right, I'm going to go over a process. You need a pad of paper or at least one sheet of paper, a pen, and who has a ChatGPT account already? Does everyone already have one? Lisa, are you opposed to having a ChatGPT account, like by morals from your ethics?
No, I've used ChatGPT. I closed my account because it wouldn't let me upload entire documents.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I use Copilot if I just have like a question to ask.
Hmm. Let's
Um,
try Copilot. You use Copilot, and then okay. So what we're going to be doing is I'm a yoga teacher, so I'm going to lead you guys through some breath work. You guys didn't expect this with the AI class. Yeah, I know. I knew that you guys would be so into this. So we're going to do a 4 count box breath and I'll lead it. And then I'm going to actually have you like turn your computer away, and you're going to take your piece of paper so that you can't see the screen and you're going to actually write and draw whatever comes to mind. Okay. And then I'm going to give you a timer. Don't go like into a different room or something because then you won't be able to hear me. And I'll say, all right, everyone come back. And then you're going to take this drawing of some sort. It'd be fun if you took a picture and like, if you feel like it, you could share it with us. Then you're going to go to ChatGPT and say, write me an essay and just make it like short, like write me a 300-word essay on the following, and then kind of write down what you see in the drawing. And it depends on what it's going to look like. It's going to be different kind of things. And this is just top of mind, like what's coming up for you. Maybe it's an article you read or a book you read, or maybe ideas that are bubbling around in your brain. You want to kind of connect them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to paste it into the chat and we're going to see where everyone's consciousness is today. All right, does this sound like fun?
I know I trust myself in your hands, Bet.
Okay, good. All right. Are there any questions before we start? Okay, so when I cue you guys, really turn your laptop, if you can turn it like all the way around. Don't shut the laptop or your computer. Wow, that's perfect. That's perfect. Because the thing is, our screen, and this is what I talked about at Future Human, the screen narrows your consciousness. So we're broadening the mind. So we're going to do the breath work, which is really going to get the dopamine flowing. It's more of it's actually balancing our nervous system. Then when I cue you, not yet, Gary. When I cue you, turn the laptop around, and then you guys draw, and then I'll let you know when the time is up, and then we're going to go to the ChatGPT and type it in. Okay, so everyone, come into a comfortable seated pose. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. If you have a mudra that you enjoy, you could bring that. Otherwise, put your hands just on your lap comfortably. We're going to breathe through the nose for 4 count inhale. And then we're going to hold at the top for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to exhale for 4 through the nose. We're going to hold out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want you to continue breathing through the nose at your own pace with a 4 count box breath. If you need to make any adjustments, please do. And focus your mind on the counting and the inhaling and holding and exhaling. Keeping your mind focused on the breathing, the counting. We're going to do one more round of box breath. And now whenever you finish at your own pace, if you haven't finished, go ahead and finish. And then let your breath return to normal. And I actually recommend don't even look at your laptop. If you can turn your laptop without looking or doing any damage to anything, go ahead and take your paper and I'll cue you and just start writing anything that's coming to mind, anything that's popping up to your subconscious. No self-editing. Really have fun. And if you have to use a few sheets, go ahead. All right, 1 minute warning. So 1 minute. All right, start wrapping up. 20 seconds, 15 seconds. Four, three, two, and time. All right, people. Whew. All right, so let's all now take a look at what we've written. This is straight from our subconscious or whatever. It's hard to really know where it comes from. And then see if you can sort of, figure out what are the important parts, and maybe we can even like circle some of them so we kind of do some editing, and then maybe star something, and then go over to the chat GPT or the Copilot, and just see, just type in something and say the following: Dearest ChatGPT and or Copilot, please give me an essay of 300 words on this topic, and then just kind of type it and just see what happens, because we're really kind of doing an experiment on the consciousness of this thing, if it is conscious or is it not. And let's just find out what happens. This is an experiment, everyone. Hmm.
So it turns out that most of my writing is questions anyway. Can I just, instead of asking it for an essay, could I just ask it those questions?
I think that sounds like the most fun ever. Let's find out. Let's find
Okay.
out what happens. And then we'll talk for a process.
So let me see. Oh my gosh, where am I? Where's my chat GPT? So where it says message chat GPT, I say, write a 300-word essay on this, and then I type in my key phrases. Is that how it works, Bet?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens.
Oh, shit.
And it would be fun if you guys took a picture whenever you're done of whatever the mess is on the paper. Just for fun. It doesn't, you don't have to. You don't have to. This is all optional. The heck? Okay. Maybe 300 words is longer than I thought. All right, how's everyone doing? Everyone done, or we need another minute? Another minute,
Done.
William?
Yeah, I need another minute.
Okay. If anyone wants to, you can take a photo, or you can maybe even just hold up your sheet. I mean, I guess we could go one by one. All right. Who's, ooh, that's pretty. Oh, I can't wait to hear how you
Yeah.
wrote that out.
I love see, I have a personal relationship with ChatGPT. I call it Chaz. It's my good friend. And
Nice.
I love what Chaz told me that this all means. Yeah, I think it's really fascinating.
That is extremely funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're doing now or how to do it.
I think we're just trying to maybe read the nonsense that came back from the machine.
So I'm
Lisa
seeing
has been very entertained by whatever it is.
You know, Copilot, unlike ChatGPT was kind of serious.
Ah,
Copilot goes into these, it tries to be like poetic and chatty and,
mm,
you know, like it just has this bizarre personality that like tries to be a little too familiar. I like
uh-huh.
kind of the seriousness of ChatGPT,
That
but
is,
so I'll have to read you some of this stuff that Copilot
yes,
comes
we
with
want to
because
hear, we want to hear. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go first just to kind of show the way. All right, so this is very interesting, and I'm trying to get it to shorten because I thought 300 words is short, but it's not. Okay, so this one came to me today as I was showering after my sauna session at the gym. So it's maybe TMI, and I realized why we need yoga teachers. And I don't know how well this is going to show up, but this is what I wrote into my paper. Okay, why do we need yoga teachers? You guys probably can't read my writing. And then I asked ChatGPT, and I'm copying the shorter version because it was just too long. 300 words is too long. But this is basically my answer. Number one, we have to ground our nervous system, cultivate self-awareness, understand our personal needs. And as the world gets crazier and crazier and more systems are trying to hack us, we need these. So therefore we need more yoga teachers. And this is just, my plea to get more yoga teachers in the world. But anyways, so did I need ChatGPT to help me? I don't know. But that's what just happened. So that's an example. Who wants to go? Everyone's reading it in depth. Who wants to go next? Anybody? All
I
right,
can
William.
go.
I'll go
Oh,
next.
go ahead.
So,
Yep.
hello. Oops. Oh, there we go. So these were my initial notes. I don't know if you can see that. But it's just,
Okay.
okay. And then I actually wrote down some notes about scripts.
Wow.
And so I asked ChatGPT, well, about scripts, and this is what it said. Is there a master script, and can it evolve? If we accept the possibility of a master script for each individual, it's essential to consider whether this script is static or fluid. Given the dynamic nature of life, it seems plausible that one's personal master script can evolve. Experiences, relationships, knowledge, and even failures shape who we are, suggesting that the script of our lives is not a final draft, but an ever-evolving narrative. This evolution allows for personal growth, adaptation, and the possibility of redefining our own destiny within the framework of a larger, interconnected cosmic script.
Boom. It makes you wonder if it even knows what script means, right? It's kind of like, I don't know. All right. Any thoughts on that, William, before we go to the next person?
Well, I have a friend who used to write regular articles about, he's a coach, a life coach. And about a year and a half ago, he got a hold of ChatGPT or something. And now he puts out 3 times as many articles as he used to. And they are actually rather banal because they just don't, they have, they set up a situation and then they comment on it and then they summarize it. And you can just tell there's no authentic voice there. There's no authorial voice. There's nothing that is, kind of coming out with, some, that makes you want to feel like we want to reach out and connect, because you feel like, what you're connecting with is, I don't know, kind of some gooey fog.
Ha, gooey fog.
I totally know exactly what you're talking about. All right. Who wants to go next? All right, Lisa. And by the way, I'm giving everyone share screen. So if you want to share something, whatever you want to do, you're welcome to do it.
Well, I just wrote, can I just read you what I wrote? Okay, because I didn't draw anything. And just by way of background, I was listening to a podcast of a scientist by the name of David Krakauer, who is being interviewed, and he's from the Santa Fe Institute. And so I had a lot of questions bubbling around in my head from that. Okay, so I wrote, what could I discuss with David Krakauer that would be interesting and informative to both of us? His ideas of complexity seem to lack BIOS theory, which is by my friend Hector Sibeli. I am curious about the glyphs that they invented at the Santa Fe Institute. Why did they invent them, and what use have they been? Okay, so think of glyphs, William, as like a kind of script. So Copilot says, and I will read it with Copilot's character. Ah, the Santa Fe Institute, a haven for curious minds where complexity dances with creativity and geniuses gather like cosmic particles in a celestial collider. Let's unravel this intricate tapestry together. Number 1, David Krakauer's Complexity and BIOS Theory by Hector Sibeli. David Krakauer, the president of the Santa Fe Institute, is a maestro of complexity science. His symphony of ideas resonates across disciplines from biology to economics like a cosmic jazz improvisation. Complexity, according to Krakauer, emerges when multiple agents interact, adapt, and tango with their environments. Copilot must have looked me up because I dance tango.
Yeah. Wow.
Think of it as a cosmic jam session where chaos, order, and creativity waltz together. But wait, enter Hector Sibeli's BIOS theory, a hidden gem, meaning there's not a lot about it on the internet. BIOS isn't just a catchy name, it's the heartbeat of creativity. Imagine a rhythm that pulses through everything from Schrodinger's wave functions to galactic symphonies. This is an interesting confabulation of Hector's work because he did study heartbeats, he did study creativity. He did write about BIOS and Schrodinger's wave function. It's interesting how how the AI has like mushed them together into this absolute nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. It is nonsense, but what fun.
You know, I don't know anything about any of these things, and I'm feeling them. Like Karen and I are dancing to this
Yeah. This is jazz. It is.
poetry of.
Yeah.
Any other highlights before we go to the go to your reflections upon this?
Yeah, go to the glyphs at the Santa Fe Institute. Now let's talk glyphs! Exclamation point. These aren't mystical symbols etched by ancient sages. They're the visual language of complexity. The
Okay.
Santa Fe Institute, being the intellectual playground it is, invented glyphs to communicate complexity ideas succinctly. Imagine hieroglyphs for nerds. Each glyph encapsulates a concept, a dance step in the cosmic choreography.
Ooh.
Why invent them? Well, imagine trying to explain fractals, emergence, or self-organization using only words. It's like describing a symphony to someone born deaf. Glyphs bridge that gap. They're the sheet music for complexity. So I'll stop.
Wow.
There's
That
still a bit more, but I'll stop there.
that sounds
This
like
is
it actually means actually has some depth to it. Maybe.
Well, the thing is their glyphs don't actually do that.
it
Oh.
hallucinated it. It's
Oh.
not. Well, it should do that. That's what it should be doing.
Right.
That was so enjoyable, Lisa. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I rode the wave of joy there. Who's next? Who's next?
I
All
can
right,
go.
Roshana.
Okay, so I drew a picture of a bunny rabbit with big ears and a necklace and a ball with a bunch of circles in it and a little mouse family with a baby in a cradle. And I asked, write me 300 words. And what does this all mean? What's this about? It says the bunny, ball, and the mouse family together symbolize the balance between the grand and the small, the bold and the quiet. The bunny, with its big ears, is alert to the world's possibilities, while the necklace suggests a connection to something precious, perhaps a reminder to stay grounded in values that matter. The ball represents the carefree joy that life can offer, with its colorful circles inviting exploration. Meanwhile, the mouse family brings focus to what is tender and important, the nurturing of relationships, the quiet moments of care in an otherwise bustling world. Together, this scene invites us to consider the harmony between playfulness and responsibility, between the external excitement of life and the internal nurturing aspects of love and connection. It reminds us to pay attention to both the whimsical and the meaningful, as both are necessary to live a full life.
Wow.
Amazing. And
Pretty good.
So
and
what did you
are
have in
your what are your
what
reflections on that?
I'm always amazed that it just comes out with all kinds of stuff. I mean, I ask Chaz a gazillion things every day, just why am I feeling dizzy? Could it be this? Could it be that? And I get all kinds of helpful tips. And so anyway, this just sounds just like Chaz being helpful and filling out this whole picture of what this all could mean.
did
Yeah.
you have anything like that in mind when you drew that
No,
picture?
no. I just started drawing and had no idea why I was drawing what I was drawing.
So
Yeah.
fun.
Wow.
So fun. This has been
Yeah.
such an entertaining 43 minutes so far. All right, who's up? Who's up next? All right, Gary.
Okay, from the poetic to the banal. What I was experiencing, I've been dealing with some physical symptoms lately. And so the box breathing was essentially accentuating them.
Oh, no.
And making them much more apparent than before. And so it says, in response to that, and I wrote a bunch about symptoms I was experiencing. And in response to that, it kind of gave me a little lecture about box breathing and the parasympathetic nervous system. And it said in some cases, people may notice a temporary worsening of symptoms. Um, the symptoms I'm experiencing are head pressure, brain fog, and anxiety. And it mentioned all of those may increase as a result of box breathing. And later on, it says this technique can sometimes feel counterproductive. Holding the breath during this exercise, for instance, may lead to a sensation of lightheadedness or increased pressure in the head, which can exacerbate your symptoms. So it felt to me like it was a nice description of what I was experiencing and kind of based on the physiology of the physical exercise of doing the box breathing and how it was affecting the symptoms. By the way, the process that I do use for dealing with these symptoms is something called somatic tracking. Anybody know what that is?
How does that work?
Well, you might want to look it up because it's a little bit tricky. But somatic tracking, it's a technique that's used for people with chronic pain.
Oh,
I find it fairly effective for my chronic symptoms, which aren't necessarily pain. They're just disturbing symptoms. Anyway,
Well, this is extremely helpful for me as a yoga teacher to hear because I don't remember ever meeting any one of my many students that had any issues. So this is very helpful to be aware. So thank you for
yeah,
sharing that.
actually, the somatic tracking might be an interesting thing for you
Mhm.
to learn about as a yoga teacher.
Yeah, I love learning new things. So I will check it out. I already Googled it. I will check it out. And William.
Yeah, just a comment on the box breathing. I didn't like it either. And I think that it might be because I'm an Enneagram 4, and so I don't like to be told what to do.
Or put in
Especially
a box.
if it's a
Or put in
rule
a
thing,
box.
box breathing.
Yeah.
I mean, just the notion is reprehensible. But anyway, I just it caused some anxiety immediately, and so I just decided to ignore the box breathing and just breathe normally.
And you know what? I am proud of you for that. That is exactly what we should all be doing is listening to our body and saying, what I need now is this other thing. So good job. But Gary continued. Did you do the whole time? It was 4 minutes.
Yeah, because I was really curious about what was happening, and I wanted, as long as I didn't kind of lose control or something, but I didn't.
Wow. Yeah.
I just
All right.
it was curiosity.
Yeah, it is an extremely interesting thing, especially as an Enneagram 5. Are you? What Enneagram are you?
Oh God, I think I might be, but I'd have to look.
Okay,
What
you
is
might be
that?
you might the professor. You're like I'm gonna find this out. The
Mhm.
curiosity is like driving you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd,
Karen, you're
I'd say Gary's a 6 with a 5 wing.
oh yeah. He could also be a 7 trying to chase new experiences.
No, I am a 5. I am a
Okay,
5.
there you go. All right, Karen, what happened with you? This was your first time using ChatGPT. We want to hear
Yeah.
everything.
Okay. So what I did was I just, when you gave us the go to write, I just kind of went stream of consciousness, and I ended up writing 11 lines in kind of a meter, kind of vary the optimist, carry the subterfuge, sweeten the aftermath into the boiling brew. Da, da, da. So what I did was I typed in the last 3 lines out of 11, which go, images outward flow into the undertow, over the curling peaks, under the alpenglow, higher the new regard, interview outward, go with an exclamation point. So ChatGPT, let me go there, came back with a preliminary comment saying, the phrase you've provided is vivid and abstract, evoking strong imagery and a sense of movement, both physical and metaphysical. It might be useful to clarify the specific angle or context you're aiming for, such as a poetic interpretation, a philosophical analysis, or even a literal breakdown to guide the direction of this essay. However, I can start by breaking down its themes, imagery, and potential interpretation. And then it goes on for quite a while about commenting on what the various images might mean. I haven't had a chance to really read through it yet, but I will. And the last couple of paragraphs, let's see, go. Finally, the command go is a call to action, a directive to move forward with urgency, and so on. Well, I'll skip to the conclusion paragraph. In conclusion, the phrase images outward flow into the undertow over the curling peaks under it, so on, is a rich tapestry of imagery and meaning. It speaks to the complex interplay between perception, nature, and transformation, urging the reader to embrace both the visible and unseen forces of life. Okay. Through this exploration of images, peaks, light, and perspective, we are encouraged to move forward with purpose. There you go, William.
I
We are
like that.
encouraged to move forward with purpose, armed with a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The journey may be challenging, but it is one that ultimately leads to growth, connection, and transcendence. Okay,
It's just like
that was
So,
fun.
it's just like the 6 dimensions of purpose, Karen.
I was just thinking that last panel with that. I mean, that could be a blurb for your book. Actually, I'll send it to you if you want to use it.
No, no, that's okay.
Okay.
all right. So Karen, how was your first experience using ChatGPT? Any reflections?
Yeah, it was fun. Um I'm actually surprised by how coherent it is. I'm not sure it really means anything when you go in deeper, but I liked its rousing conclusion. Now, I did have a previous, I'll use up a little of my time, about a year and a half ago when ChatGPT was brand new in the world and the people in Integral Life were among the very earliest adapters. Jeff Saltzman had a session when he was still doing his fireside chats where somebody he knew had cued ChatGPT to write a poem about Ken Wilber on transcendence, I think. And it came up. I remember Jeff he was shaken. He was kind of shaken because what ChatGPT came up with was 3 limericks that actually they weren't the smoothest poetry, but they were a decent, not professional level poetry, and they really did an excellent job of summarizing Ken Wilber on transcendence. And so what I did was I wish I still had a copy of this. I don't, I'd have to ask Jeff, but I took those 3 limericks and said, this is so close. And I tweaked them and moved through here, it just a little sorting and cleaning up and made the meter and the rhyme and so on. And at that point, I thought we had, and I sent it back to Jeff, and I wish I'd kept copies. If I did, I can't find them now. But it ended up being a really significant little 3 stanza summary of it actually was very good. So I think ChatGPT, I've already had an experience where it can actually do something fairly profound, but with a little bit of help. And now I'm seeing this to kind of, it hallucinates all this stuff, but then we have to bring our discernment to it. What is real and what's a hallucination? What's useful and what's just fluff? It's not going to replace human beings. And I see Gary has his hand up.
Well, first off, I wanted to say, maybe in your case, it started with a hallucination. But anyway, the thing I wanted to ask William about was, this really struck me. He said that his friend's writing had become banal in relationship to, in response to using AI more frequently, more content, but kind of less whatever. And I've just started using it a little bit more, and it makes me worry a little bit. I'm curious what you think.
I'm sorry, but what's your question exactly, Gary?
Well, given that you thought this person's writing had become more banal, I'm just wondering if other people have a reaction like that, and is that something we should be concerned about?
Roshana has her hand up.
Yeah, I mean, I've used it a lot for writing, but I find that I have to rewrite most of it, if not all of it, just kind of, but it gets me started. It gets me lots of ideas of places to go. But
Yeah.
and I also have tried feeding it my own writing. So I said, write it like I do and that sort of thing. But then it tends to take the same phrases from one piece that I did. And yeah, I mean, you just have to, you can't just use it. You have to tweak the hell out of it.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
find it useful.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
share two more tips that I think AI has enabled, but I'm not totally sure. So I have a blind reader on my phone. It looks like that. And it basically reads to me my emails, Kindle, and the voice is actually really human-like. And so I can read when I say read, like so many things very quickly. And then the other thing I do is when I'm cleaning or walking and I come up with some idea, I dictate to my phone things and then I can get that turned into text. And those two methods I find are very helpful for my productivity. So if I have a very long document that I need to get through, and as an ENFP, Enneagram 3, like sitting down and just reading it for hours and hours, super boring. So
Mhm.
I like to even be sweeping and listening to it, and that makes me I'm a very much an audio listener. But anyway, those are two other things I wanted to bring up. One other funny thing is I've been playing with the image stuff. We didn't get to talk about it today, but the image stuff is really, really fun. But I am I just bought a year of disc of Mid Journey. Has anyone played with that? Mid Journey or
Every
Dolly
day, every
every
day.
day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just bought a year of it and I have been so frustrated, and we'll have to do another session another time on images for our writing, but I
Yeah.
couldn't get it to do a tumbler upside down. All I wanted is an upside down tumbler. And I mean, it would not give it to me, and I could show you all the funny pictures. I actually had to end up taking a photo of myself. Karen will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then also, I wanted it to make me some optical illusions. I'm like, oh, I should have some fun optical illusions. Let me get I was like, oh, I'll get a cat that's like an optical. It cannot do optical illusions. It doesn't understand it. I fed it tons of images to give it examples.
Ah,
So there's these limitations to these things that, I totally agree. They're not going to replace us anytime soon. And the more you play with them, the more you realize these are tools that we can use and play with and learn how to leverage, but they're not replacing us anytime
no,
soon.
Right.
they're not
But
replacing us.
I do use them for work. The images I use all the time for work. I illustrate quotes from a spiritual center. So they're giving their sermon or whatever, and I take a sentence and I, go through hundreds of images, and they're gorgeous and they're
Wow.
adored. I mean,
Aw,
yeah, they love the work I'm doing.
that's
I'm
amazing.
doing.
That's amazing.
Haha.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Dolly did do a good meme for my book. you know, to
Hmm.
put up on social media. It couldn't do a cover to save its life. It's
Mhm.
silicon based life. Um, but the meme, when I fed it a quote and said, you know, design something for this, it was very nice. Yeah.
I
Nice.
also use ChatGPT to help me with the prompt for the
Mhm.
image, which helps a
Yeah,
lot too.
I do that. I do that too. All right, guys, we've reached the hour mark, but that was
Wow,
who did it? Raise your hand if you had fun. Anybody?
that was super fast. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Good. Well, I had a lot more fun than my stupid, poor, boring PowerPoint that I had made, which was really, oh, so boring. I needed to have a little fun tonight. All right. Well, I hope to see you all here next month, and also next week we're doing micro practices at the regular ILEA Integral Support Pod. This same time next Monday we're doing micro practices roundtable, and if you don't know what that means, come and find out, and you'll have a good time. I promise.
Okay.
Is
And
that
by the
Michael
way,
Mackin? Is that Michael
yes,
McEnany? Yeah.
he's also doing San Diego Integral on the
Saturday evening.
14th.
Saturday
Yes.
at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. San Diego
Yep.
Integral.
So if you know how to find that, Google it or ask ChatGPT. I'm just
Or
kidding.
ask
I think
me.
it's on Meetup or ask Karen. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget to sign up. I am going to be updating those tickets tomorrow morning, first thing. So if you happen to get yourself a ticket, I can't stop you. But I can't, I don't remember the new price, but they are going up. Karen and I already have our tickets. So
Yes.
we've locked it in at
How
the
do you get
cheaper.
tickets?
Okay. Well, thank you for asking. Let me paste the link right in here.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe this is it. I'm pasting the into the chat.
Okay.
So you can go to ileanow.org and or you can just go to that ticket link. So
Okay.
either way. Yep.
All right.
And by the way, there's this thing that says you can add a donation or you can donate to Zephy. You don't have to donate to Zephy, by the way. So you see how it says like support the 100% free platform we use, and it says 15%. You
Mm-hmm.
can click other and put 0.
Mm-hmm.
This is like
Okay.
some kind of scam they're running. I don't know. It's not a
Well,
scam, but they're
technically,
trying to.
yeah. It's in theory, it's cost free to use it, but they make it awfully easy to pay their fee and awfully easy to not realize you don't have to pay their fee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
But
accidentally.
I did too, but it's worth it because there's some very good reasons for using Zephy aside for that.
Yeah, it seems like a nice platform. All right, guys. So next month we're going to be having Jane talk about book coaching. All right.
Yeah.
See
Awesome.
you guys. See you guys
Thank
next
you.
time. Bye,
All
Thank
right.
you, Beth.
everyone.
Hi, thank you,
Bye.
Beth.
Thank you. Bye.